One thing Nart didn't do was sit there, find Sasuke at Final Valley, and then while they're boxing, we're cutting back to Shikamaru versus Tayuya. They'll cut away to every other fight possible before tackling the main story. I think that's corny. For Chad and Renji fights, we did not need that. Chat, I think it's time we do some hating. In honor of hate, I'm going to pull up a series and I'm going to just tell you 1, 2, or maybe even 3 things that I just don't like about the series. We're going to get the hate takes off. This is going to be the most disliked video of all time. Please like and subscribe if you agree with what I said or you just want to support the channel. But yeah, this is going to be a straightforward video. I'm going to pull up a show. I'm going to talk about what I think stands out the most, and then maybe I'll give out some honorable mentions. Let's start off with Naruto. Very similar to Boruto as well, so I may even combine them. Naruto and Boruto. One thing that I don't like is they're a cardinal sin of what I think a lot of anime do when they run out of how to make villains OP. Let's just give them abilities that insanely nerf the main character. Now, let me be clear. I'm all for every now and then there being direct counters, but especially when you get to Boruto, the idea of essentially ninjutsu being fodderized for many villains, many of like the top tiers just fodderize an overwhelming amount of ninjutsu to focus on taijutsu. I don't have a problem with taijutsu at all, but I do think that when you do that, it kind of makes like certain things that felt so earned not playing a factor at all. It kind of bums me out to a degree. And it's an opinion. And obviously I'm not in Blue Vortex. And even in the latter half of the Boruto manga, there's ways to get around it, and the creative ways to get around it are cool. So I'm not saying this is just a thing that ruins the series. We're just talking about what is something that I don't like the most. And I think my strongest contender, if not my consensus for Naruto and Boruto, is just going to be that at some point, very much earned shit just does not matter. That can be a theme for 90% of animes, especially if you want to factor in transformations for like Dragon Ball. But I think in Naruto, it hits a little bit home. And me and my chat, we even had an offline argument. It was like 3 board fans being smartasses. Well, it's not absorption, it's shrinkage. Or well, it's not shrinkage, it's he can warp through his own claw marks, or it's not absorption, he can just send it to a different dimension and Kamui or anything like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? For me, nullification, regeneration, and immortality are like the 3 abilities that I don't hate, but unless every powerhouse going forth has them, then that kind of just shows me that, damn, bruh, we're running out of ideas. And if anything, you have to create different, I guess, ways for them to figure out how to actually land the hit with ninjutsu and or just win with taijutsu. It almost in a weird way makes every fight kind of similar, like predictable. Sticking with Naruto on this one, this does not go for Boruto. Your female cast sucks, dog. All right, board fans 1-0 here. Yeah, your female cast is horrible. You have Tsunade, Sakura for a lot of people they don't even want me to include, and Gengi, Conan, Tamari, Hinata. Even those names, if you think those are cool personalities, cool characters, whatever the case may be, their relevance and prominence in the story is nowhere near close to animes that show their female cast a lot of love. So I'll even split it up. Just because the absorption thing and the nullification thing, that really ramps up in Boruto more than Naruto. Granted, it's definitely a Naruto. It's definitely a Naruto. Yeah, my thing for Boruto would probably just be, you know, the 3 power techniques. For Naruto, your female cast is awful. I'm sorry. I do love Tsunade, though, but your cast sucks. Let's go. What am I feeling now, Chad? Kushina, Tenten. So, in honor of dropping mid on the screen, you want me to bring up a good female protagonist? Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Goonagon. Goonagon, I mean, obviously, I give a lot of praise to this show. I like Goonagon, but if I have to find something to hate on Goonagon, I would say pick a side, man. Sometimes, y'all get me harped into the love story, and then it's just straight action for 3 episodes, man. Like I was interested in the triangle. Sometimes, I was interested in the boxing, then it just hard stops, and we're back to the triangle. Pick a side, man. And maybe I'm impatient. I'm impatient. I'm not gonna lie. I think the ending of season 2 is kind of what I'm looking for. And I'm not saying they haven't done it, but like in the sense of because of this fight and the events that led to it, this moves on the triangle. Not saying that hasn't happened in the past, but if I see more of that, I'm definitely good. But I don't have too many complaints about Goonagon because Goonagon chilled out on the gooning. So because they chilled out on the gooning, I can't really say that anymore. I do like the comedy. I do like the fact it's not just boom, boom, punch. I do like the techniques, all this other stuff. Yeah, I don't have too much issues with Goonagon. And I'm not saying this hasn't happened all the time, but I do think that the way that season 2 did it optimized this really well. The love triangle leads to the fight, and then after said fight, the result of a fight then stems onto the triangle versus just, okay, love triangle, there's an intermission, we gotta fight, niggas. Love triangle. You know what I mean? I would like that a bit more, but no, overall it's good. I know somebody's biggest criticism would be that it's too goofy. Hot take? Nah, keep the comedy. Nah, keep the comedy. Next up, let's talk about the champ. The champ is here. Let's talk about Demon Slayer. First of all, fuck Muzan. Second of all, fuck Muzan. Third of all, thing for Demon Slayer, I'm not gonna lie, some of your quirkiness is in the way. Zenitsu and Pig Boy sometimes are funny, sometimes they're not. I gotta admit it. Sometimes Demon Slayer doesn't make me laugh as much as I would like to laugh. And while I'm all for keeping comedy, it has to be funny. Sometimes Demon Slayer, I just think, is trying hard to be funny, and it's not funny to me. Yeah, I know that's going to get a lot of comments. I didn't mean to offend your favorite show, but yeah, no, that's probably it, actually. Yeah, sometimes Demon Slayer is trying to be funny, and it's not funny. I had to think, is it the fact that the swords aren't real? I don't care about that, to be honest. I'm watching the show. Ooh, honorable mention. Some demons having that creative, I cut your neck off, but, I have this hack or that hack, whatever. Cool. I personally, and this just is me, it's not that I don't like change or creativity, because I know it's going to be something that gets commented and gaslit about me. I personally don't always like every strong demon having the gimmick of, if you cut my head off, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. I don't like that. I like the idea of some necks being really strong. I like the idea of maybe 1 or 2 of them have this gimmicky hack, and that's how they made them strong. I like the idea that some of them, it wasn't a real cool, but at some point, all right, man, any Slayer stan out there is going to act like I'm saying something blasphemous, so watch this. I think it's very easy to just create a demon who has insane hacks, abilities, or just raw power to where, hey, if you cut their neck off, that's the accomplishment. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think they also need to have that extra thing. I think genuinely you can just make a demon who is so unbelievably fuck you cool that if you cut their neck off, that's it. I'm not asking for much. With the Bort niggas that were mad earlier, I'm not asking for everyone to be able to get all their strongest jutsu off. I'm just saying, hey man, it's possible that you can make the strongest character in Bort not absorb or be nullified or reach. You can just make him that cool. Aka's a case of, but yes, Aka's really cool. But in the movie, when they was about to cut his neck, I was like, oh shit, they might cut Aka's neck. If I can't say your fandom, Jujutsu Kaisen. This is gonna sound Mickey as hell, but I gotta tell the truth. They locked up my favorite character, man. They locked up my favorite character. That's my biggest problem with JJ. Where's Gojo? I want to see Gojo on the screen. And I can't see Gojo on the screen because these fuckers locked him up. That's my genuine one. If I must say something else, I feel like Megumi is supposed to be really important, and sometimes he just doesn't feel like that, even though he is. I guess that would be it. My criticism for JJK, as you can't tell, is something along the lines of characters. I love Gojo, and I'm depressed when he's not on the screen. Megumi, I know it's important, but I don't really care. Toji, is the coolest guy whenever he's on the fucking screen. But then there's a lot of other characters that I kind of just don't care about, but they often do a good job of making you like end up caring about it, kind of like a la to One Piece a little bit with like, what's that nigga name? Nanami. Nanami for the longest time I thought was insanely boring, and then they made me care about him in like 2 episodes. It was crazy. Oh shit, it's time. Let's talk about the show y'all swear I hate. Do y'all still think I hate Bleach? You know what? Let's do this right now. Do y'all still think I hate Bleach? Cool, because I never did, dumbasses. Well, my chat is finally convinced that I don't hate Bleach. Can't say the same for you two. My thing with Bleach right now? Bleach trolls my time a lot. That's what I'll say about Bleach. Biggest fight of the fucking arc going on. Yeah, let's show you every other fight, regardless of its relevance, I'm sorry. And then go back to it just for 2 seconds. And then let's go create a new fight. All right, bro. If you're going to build up maybe like Ichigo running past the gauntlet of people on some like Naruto Sasuke retrieval arc shit, fine, cool, whatever. One thing Nart didn't do was sit there, find Sasuke at Final Valley, and then while they're boxing, we're cutting back to Shikamaru versus Tayuya. It just leaves aside. I'm not saying that Nart just clears Bleach for doing this, but this is like kind of what I'm getting at. It's not a fun experience, no matter what y'all say. Hey, we know there's like the biggest fight scene in all of the fucking arc going on. And then maybe not even the most important fight, because the shit that was going on with the captains was important too. But it's not even the fact that they cut away to other fights. They'll cut away to every other fight possible before tackling the main story. I think that's corny. And it's corny that gets brought up to then being like, oh, no, you just want instant payoffs or you're impatient. No, it's not a matter of patience. Dog, for Chad and Renji fights, we did not need that. We genuinely did not need 4 different Chad, Renji versus miscellaneous opponent fights. That was insane. Now, I understand the manga probably tightens this up, but gang, I watched the anime. That shit was crazy. For those that ain't remembering, 2 of them, I almost skipped it. It was one dude they were fighting in the sand. It was one dude that they were fighting Rukia. They had another fight earlier with the guy, the smart guy, but that one was actually cool. And then I think there was one other fucking fight too. They're about to have another fight because Big Bob them jumped down. And I think that luckily they didn't give too much time to. Man, you did not need to do that. That's my thing with Bleach. Don't troll my time. Well, we've already talked about 2 of the big 3. Let's talk about One Piece. I mean, I could go with the layup. Do we take the layup? Yeah. Do we take the layup? You know what? Honorable mention the layup. You know what the layup is. But if I cannot say pacing, if I cannot say too many episodes, if I cannot say potential, if I have to choose something else, which kind of coincides with the trolling. Shout out Bleach, you're not the only one. I'm not gonna lie. Someone in Hot Takes tackled it earlier, and it's fresh on my mind, and I agree with it. Maybe not just to hate on a specific character, though. You may have a surplus problem. If you're trying to pay attention to too many characters and give everybody who is introduced on the screen depth and simultaneously keep up the cast depth, you're going to inevitably make some characters feel less important as time goes on. Like someone in the Hot Takes that we just recorded brought up Usopp, and he was like, damn, Usopp kind of is just insignificant nowadays. And granted, you could argue he always was. Yap. I would disagree. Dressrosa, things before that. But especially in the last 2 arcs that I've seen, he has his moments. And I guess if you want to be the straw hat of all straw hats, to be technical about it, true. But I mean, these moments are insanely pale in comparison to others. There's like less time. And granted, they'll make up for it because it's One Piece. Everyone will get their chance to shine. But like, it kind of, for One Piece now, I always have to remember a character exists. I'll say that. Like, Sanji will be off the screen for 40 episodes damn near, and then he'll do some clutch Sanji shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I love Sanji. Or like, Chopper will literally not have a line in certain episodes, and then 20 episodes later, Chopper has a designated fight. And shit, I forgot I have to care about Chopper again. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a good problem to have. It's a great problem to have, but it's probably my thing. Sometimes in the journey of building up every character that you see to give yourself by far the easiest stack of cast, you kind of make me like, damn, you know, I'd rather see this new guy than this character I've watched for about One Piece fans a decade. But for me, I've watched this character for about 2 straight years now. Why do I like Bonnie bigger than them? You know what I mean? That's kind of nitpicky because I do think One Piece is a good show, but it is my pick to make. Let's go to Solo Leveling. This is easy. Jinwoo show. I mean, my God, you take the thing about Ichigo and you ramp it up to 90. If Jinwoo's not on the screen, granted, it has some plot lines that it's working on, but if it's not about Jinwoo or the game, I'm not gonna lie, story has major problems that it needs to short out. Now, the good news is Solo Leveling is like dangerously aware of that, and Jinwoo is the talking point of like 90% of the plot. So it really isn't about him. But yeah, going forth, you're gonna have to explore the game and maybe other people trying to help the game or some shit like that, because yeah, it's a crazy Jinwoo problem right now. You counting his shadows? No, because they're his shadows. Someone in chat just said, yeah, I fuck with the shadows more than actual humans in that show. Chat, how many of you don't like Igris or King more than like 90% of the cast? Go. Like, it's kind of crazy. Gun to the back. Yeah, there you go, chat. Gun to the back of your head. Name 5 characters that don't turn into a shadow. You're probably a nerd or dead. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. The only people that have depth are, I call them Wolverine and the blonde girl. Wolverine and the blonde girl are cool. There's another, Drake. Drake is out there doing some shit. Like, they're strong characters out there. But the only ones that I, like, give a fuck about are the girl that smells shit and Wolverine. And I don't even know their names. So I'm dead. His dad was barely there. Fire Guy's kind of cool. Maybe I'm on the spot. Fire Guy. Okay, I'll give y'all Fire Guy. Fire Guy's okay. This is gonna be the hardest one for me. Because, Chad, if y'all don't know, it's not my favorite. To this day, I still think this is the best anime I've seen, just from a quality perspective and my enjoyment and what I look for. So this is gonna be hard for me. Hunter x Hunter. If I have to say what is my biggest gripe with Hunter x Hunter, and I can't take the layup that it's not done, Hisoka, this is probably a clip. Scorcher take, he can be whatever the hell he is. In fact, we know what he is. Hisoka is easily one of the 10 greatest anime characters I've seen in my life. Easily. And he's genuinely not 10. Hisoka is a fantastic character. He's an unbelievably good character. We know what he is. But he is an unbelievably good character. Like, oh my God, he is insanely well written. He is a fantastic character. But yeah, I can't. I can't. I as much as it would be fun to say my biggest problem with Hunter x Hunter is Hisoka, no, it's not. He's an unbelievably great character. Greed Island is up there. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say Greed Island. I don't dislike Greed Island arc, and it's the first one of this show, of this entire episode, that I've named an arc. I know I named Greed Island here, and that would imply that, oh, you didn't name another arc of other shows. Do you think Greed Island's that bad? No. I just think compared to every other arc in the show, Greed Island kind of sticks out to me as a sore thumb. I'm like, it's cool. I think every other arc had insane layers, depth to it. Even the one following Chimera Ant arc, I think that arc actually is very emotional. But when it comes to Greed Island, I get its purpose. I get why it was there, but it just, I don't know. I just feel like it definitively falls flat compared to every other arc in the show. So yeah, that's probably gonna be my thing with Hunter x Hunter. What's the thing that I dislike the least, or in this case, I have to say hate? Greed Island. I don't hate Greed Island. I said that backwards. Anyway, next. TSL Sage does not think Greed Island is a bad arc. Well, I said Hunter x Hunter is the best anime I've seen. Someone will get mad and argue it's Attack on Titan. I'm not gonna lie. This is easy. Y'all are gonna call this Mick. I'm not calling this Mick. Attack on Titan having season 4, then the final season, then the final season, then the final season was insanely corny. Nope, you're not convincing me anything else. That was corny. That is my. We can talk about the show all we want to. Cool, whatever. You can say nothing but the show. Yeah. If you think that's the case, awesome. My pick is by far runaway the final for real this time. Final seasons of Attack on Titan. Horrible rollout. Horrible rollout. That weren't it. So I guess complete the triad of, but Sage, this is the best anime. Let's talk about Yu Hakusho. I could take the basic one that the last tournament was rushed, but honestly, I'll be honest, I would like to see it reanimated, man. It's 90s animation, and that's okay. At some point, if I have to say it, to be blunt, I'll say it. It's okay. It's still a 10 out of 10 anime to me because it was made in the 90s. What am I asked for 2020 animation in the 90s? No. But yeah, no, it's just the animation. It's probably just the main thing right now. If you go back and you rewatch Yu Hakusho, a very, very, very casual guy would sit there and be like, "This is your peak. Look at how they fight." You know what I'm saying? And it's just 90s animation. This is me kind of asking for someone to reanimate Yu Hakusho, please. But if that's corny, then I will go to the last arc. I do think it was a bit rushed. I don't think it was bad. I definitely don't think it was bad. Like, I think it's probably overhated based on what I've seen in the past couple of days with Yu takes. But it was a bit rushed. They rushed the last arc when it's supposed to be very, very, very significant. You would like to think that, hey, if this is about how everyone's going to have to live their lives going forth based on the insane shit that happened in the arc prior, you would like to have more depth with that. So rush last arc, but my main thing would probably be the animation. Last and certainly not least, this is a complaint that is in every anime, but I'm gonna give the head honcho to Dragon Ball. And this goes across all Dragon Ball iterations. GT, Z, Super, and yes, even original. The sin that Dragon Ball commits, that maybe it's just the way that they do it that I find insanely cringe. Honorable mention, the grunting. Whatever. My pick, the sideline narration of what I'm looking at. Holy shit. It's so annoying in Dragon Ball, I'm not gonna lie. I'll see somebody break their arm and regenerate. Krillin. Oh yeah. Because Piccolo's a Namekian, he can just rip his arm off and regenerate. All right, dog. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I see that. I see that. I see that shit. Krillin gives Goku a senzu bean. Gohan. Oh, yeah. If he gives him a senzu bean, he'll be back at full health. I saw that, Gohan. When his arms went whoosh, his legs went whoosh, and then he started firing like he was never stronger than that shit is so annoying. It is prevalent in the Tournament of Power. It's prevalent on Namek. It happens sometimes in the Cell Saga, which is strange, right? You would think it would happen in the Cell Saga the most, considering they're right the fuck there. But no, in Dragon Ball, someone said that's weak. Go fuck yourself. This is my list. It's numbingly annoying how anybody who's watching the fight will just sit there and tell you what you just saw in Dragon Ball. It's just like, nigga, I'm right here. And then someone in twin. Someone in chat is just twin, bro. Shout out to One More Cup. I swear I was just about to get to this. Like on life, I was about to get to this. The worst part about it is they'll like forget it. Like did you peep in the dialogue? I said, "Oh yeah," twice. It's almost like they forget their lines, and the narrator whispers in Krillin's ear, "Hey, you have to mention that Kaioken is a 10 times multiplier, so it's like he's 10 times as strong. Go." Like it's like they forget what the fuck the people that they grew up with can do. They're like, "Dang, Goku seems like he's 20 times stronger." He did scream Kaioken times 20, Krillin. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's holy shit, bro. So that's my thing with Dragon Ball. It's a pet peeve, but it's definitely my pet to peeve. It's definitely my peeve to pet. It fucking annoys me, bro. It's so annoying. I love Dragon Ball. It's my favorite anime of all time. It has my glorious day. But my biggest thing for Dragon Ball is definitely the sideline commentary as if I am stupid. But most Dragon Ball fans are stupid. And in fact, most anime fans are stupid. You guys are going to think I hate every anime that I've watched in this video. So I'm going to say one time only, I like every anime I've mentioned in this video. Take care, stay blessed, see you later, bye! Maybe next time if we do a part 2, I bring up anime that I don't like.